Well, hello there.
Hey, Bob.
It is Monday. It's the 1st of December, the December 1st edition of Ouya Dev Support Office Hours. That's Jared
Hey, baby, it's cold outside.
from a bunker somewhere in the Culver City area. Seattle region, Mr. Tim Graupmann.
Hey,
My name is
it's
Bob.
cold here. It's like 20 out.
Yeah, it's way
Really?
colder
Snow
outside
on
where
the
you are.
ground. It's nice.
Snap. It's cold in Culver City. Does that mean it's like...
It rained. We had rain
Mm.
all yesterday and into the night, so it's nice,
Yeah.
cold and wet. So we have a taste of Seattle. My warm mug of tea here. It's quite nice.
I had to drive over. I saw the family. Hope you guys had a wonderful holiday.
Mm.
I drove over Donner Pass the first way, and I have a little Prius, and so there was like chain restrictions, so I had to drive through Feather River Canyon to get back, and it was
So the best thing you ate this weekend was your family.
yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, because of yeah. Oh man, I have a good one.
You saw what I did there.
I do. I did. Why is my name not showing up?
Summer party of 5.
I worked so hard. Wait, is my name showing up?
No, but your mustache is more than enough. There it is.
So I was gonna shave my mustache off, but then I had a conversation with my grandpa, who's like
Ooh.
84, about Movember and everything. He went on a cruise and he's like, everyone had these mustaches and they look so cool, so I started growing mine out. So I told him I was gonna keep mine until I saw him in December. So we're gonna have a mustache off.
How does your girlfriend feel about that?
She's fine with it.
Nice.
She's supportive.
Oh.
Can you go all the way till next November so you're ready?
Anything's possible, and if I did, it would start to do this, and that could be cool.
Or you could do the curly Spanish motif.
I'm not sure if there's anyone in
For
the
a
games
sword.
industry that has the Pai Mei,
Well,
Oh, yeah.
you're a thinner gentleman, so if you kept it till then in October, you could be a really good Luigi for Halloween.
that could, yeah. The possibilities are endless with mustaches. I don't know why people don't have them all the time. Fair warning to viewers today, for some reason the Q&A feature is disabled. So do we have any workarounds?
Thanks, Google.
Do we have any workarounds? We could redirect people. Could we or no? Gerard? Is there
I
anything
am
that works?
on the Ouya forum right now in their live
yeah.
chat, so they can write questions there, and I will try to direct them to us.
Oh, that's a good. I mean, yeah. If people have any questions, pop over to your forum. They have a live chat feature that's pretty cool. Everyone kind of hangs out and talks there.
We have
Yep.
a live chat on the forums?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You sign in, and then all you have to do is it's not apparent right away, but once you click on the Ouya forum logo, then it opens up a big chat box above all the discussions, and everyone's talking in real time.
It's pretty sweet. It's like the late '90s in there, and because I haven't used a chat room since then.
IRC, man.
Yeah, pretty sweet.
All right. Super.
Oh yeah. While Tim's setting that up, I could ask Gerard if there's any
Departure.
just the facts with Mr. Jared Yeager.
Yes, let's talk some facts. On actually, just we're going to do some derpage right here, but not necessarily apparent to everyone. So, for premium games, we've actually had some developers submit and get approved. They did mark that they want their game to be premium in advance, so you can get approved and accidentally publish your game as 100% free. So again, if you want your game to be premium, you got to set up your promoted product in the dev portal, and also click the box saying that you want your game to be premium. It won't let you actually make the game premium unless you have a promoted product, I believe. Also, if you are doing a premium game experience without a demo, we do require you to have a Vimeo trailer for your game. Ouya developers at Ouya Games are allowed to have game trailers on Vimeo. You just got to label your game as an Ouya game trailer when you put it up on your account. If for some reason there's an issue with your Vimeo account, you can also share with us the download link for your trailer. and we will put it up on our Vimeo account and then give you the link for your submission, or we can go in the back way into the Magical Dev portal and put it in the link for your game as well. So a lot of different ways to go about that. So again, just make sure you follow those rules so you don't accidentally publish your game 100% free. On the new game front and bundles and sales. So we still have some cool deals for Cyber Monday. Acorn Assault still 50% off, and Nightmare Tower 66% off through the end of the day today. If you didn't get the Norwind game bundle, it is now gone. Boom!
Boom!
You still have a week left to get all the awesomeness of the Orange Pixel bundle for $4.99. So that's 4 awesome games for $4.99. Thank you, Orange Pixel, for that. And then launching tomorrow is Super Lemonade Factory bundle. Super Lemonade Factory 1 and 2.
Cool.
Our good friend Shane will be going live tomorrow at a nice discount. You may ask, why isn't Super Lemonade Factory 1989 included? Well, that game is 100% free, so you don't need that included in the bundle, so you can enjoy that right away.
Nice.
So that will be going live tomorrow. We also have some cool new games that came out right over break. We have Furfur and Nublo from Devilish Games. That's a cool puzzle platformer where you control Furfur, who is the puzzle platformer, and Nublo, who is your flying eyeball friend who turns into a platform for you to jump on and move around the game area as well. We also have Quantic Pinball from Shine. I want to say Shine Research, but get the name just right. But yeah, Quantic Pinball will be launching tomorrow as well. Also, be on the lookout for Ghostbusters Pinball to be returning hopefully later this week. Also, let's see. Yeah, I've already mentioned. Yeah, Bosun X has already released, which is a cool first-person or kind of third-person behind-the-shoulder runner, similar in vein to other cool runners like Photonica and Beat Drift. The other game I wanted to make you guys aware of is Dex Early Access is coming very soon to Ouya, maybe as early as this week. Another Free the Games fun game that'll be joining us on the early access side, so be sure to check that out. We also had a Dub Wars update come out over the weekend. Also, our friend James Ross released Rush Hour Mayhem. He's got an update coming for that. The maker of Super Renegade Response. Rush Hour Mayhem, you can actually drive as an Ouya, so be sure to check that out. So you have your boxy Ouya car like a Scion that you can run around. So be sure to check that out. Yeah, and if you didn't notice, we hit 1,000 games.
Yay!
So a really cool video put out by our superfan dev Neil Crofts. So we linked that on to our kind of Ouya Presents video that's on the storefront right now, and also in our video section, our YouTube channel, pretty much everywhere. So he did a tremendous job with that. So thank you very much for that. Really appreciate it, and we're super excited. We're already on our way to 1,010 games and beyond. So thank you, every developer and gamer out there that has helped make that possible and continuing this journey with us. And we do it all for you. We love what we do, and looking forward to celebrating the next 1,000 games. So cheers, everyone, for that.
You're here. Bang. Oh, man. That's awesome. I forgot what I was going to say. That's so cool. I really forgot. Oh, can we talk about Key Store really fast? I think it might. I mean, we do it almost every week, but a dev just wrote in asking about Key Store and asked if we could send them their Key Store that they used in the previous build. And it might be good just to explain why that's not possible. Right, Tim?
Yep. You, me, you, me, you.
How come that's not possible, Tim? Why is that? Why can't we
Well,
just?
it's like a key. Yeah, it's a key. Only you have it. So, like, when you make a key store, you want to send it to yourself, and make backup. If you don't have it, we kind of have a new process now, where it's like, okay, so you've lost your key store, you don't have it anymore. So we have people make a new game, and in the developer portal. And then we transfer the purchases from the old thing to the new thing, because it's just a better user uh, user interaction there, rather than like telling all your users, yes, to get the update, you have to uninstall the game and then install the new one. That was pretty bizarre. And so now we just go and make a new game, transfer the purchases and everything, and then they install the new game to be more. You can explain it better, maybe, Bob.
No, that's pretty good. I mean, the better thing is just to save your key store.
Yeah. Yeah, always back up your key store when you make it, but you never make the same mistake twice.
Right. Well, what do you think, guys? Should we grok with Graupmann, or should we talk about games that we played recently?
Games we played,
Yeah.
and then when we get to my part, I was going to talk about Unreal. So
And,
yeah, I played that
teaser.
Postman X thing. That is super fun. I like
Which one,
that.
Bosun X?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun playing the
I've
little
played games
robot
like
guy.
that before, but something about it is more fun.
Yeah, it's a good one. Maybe we'll end up doing a bundle of all those type of endless straight. I don't want to call it first person runner because you're not necessarily first person, but the straight perspective runner, I guess, or
Rail
3D runner. Yeah, rail runner. That's the way to do it. Not to be confused with Ruby on Rails.
runner.
Well, that'd be
Different.
that'd be cool if someone actually made a game that was called Ruby on Rails and you actually did that. But
And you
It takes a fair amount of pre-planning too. It's different because you can either jump up, jump left, or jump right, and you have to plan ahead, and you kind of hold for how long you want to jump, and if you run out of track, you're dead.
It's cool that the track rotates like 360 too.
Oh yeah,
Different than like having the 3 or 4 set tracks, and like that's all you have to work with. So I feel like that's kind of new and different, or a cool thing.
do you get to the lasers? So they have rotating lasers that try to get you.
Did you get past the lasers?
Yeah.
Nice.
oh yeah,
Yeah, and it
also
gives you a little progress indicator how far you got. What were you saying, Jared?
oh no, I was remembering about the lasers. But I also forgot about another game that came out that's fun. Although I was looking at it, it's way too I wouldn't say advanced for a 9-month-old baby, but it was I was really pleasantly surprised to see we have a really fun educational game for kids called 1-2-3 Animal Math Games for Kids by Egg Roll Games. Watch the trailer and video; it's super cute. I'm looking forward to over the next year or so to eventually start playing with that with my daughter. So, any of you out there have youngins, definitely check it out. It's got 5-star reviews already on the storefront, and super cute. And I think they'll be bringing more educational games to the platform. So that was fun to check out over the weekend as a preview of things to come with children's games. I was actually curious, Tim. Were there any particular games that you ended up playing with your kids in the early years on the edutainment front?
Well, I was just thinking of the ones we just played, like over the holidays. We were playing a lot of Diablo 3. We did a lot of, from like ages 1 and up, we did a lot of Lego Batman and Lego, which is also in the Ouya store, right?
That's right, 100% free right now too.
Yeah.
We'll have more Playcast news in the future, by the way. I know people are asking, like, what's up with Playcast? And no, we're definitely hard at work and collaborating with the fine team over there. So just sit tight, and good things will come.
A little tip now that your kid's almost 1. If you go to the settings and accounts, you can password protect or put a PIN code in front of the purchases. That was something I neglected to do, and you don't really anticipate like a 1-year-old doing purchases, but randomly mashing buttons, like my 1-year-old at the time racked up $160 in the Xbox store just clicking buttons. So you can password protect those purchases if you want with a PIN code.
What's your
Something to think
PIN code?
about. It'll be a 4-digit code that you can enter.
No, but like, what's your code? Just curious.
Oh, I give my kids Kindles and stuff, and the secret password is their birthday. They'll never figure it out.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Same combination as my luggage. Um, I played more of the campaign of Skulls of the Shogun. It's a very robust campaign. So I think I'm like in the third temple area of the full campaign. And then also did a tiny bit of Steam gaming. Played a bit of Cannon Brawl. I saw you, Carl Winslow, Bob, on Steam as well.
I saw you. I saw
Yeah,
you playing Cannon Brawl. I was like, oh,
there you go.
check.
We should play together. I didn't want to interrupt your gaming session.
So deep into Far Cry 4. Oh my gosh. It's so intense. Did you play Far Cry 3?
I've actually not played any of the Far Cries.
Whew. I didn't play any of them until 3. Um, I think I need like parental controls on my console though, or on my PC. So it's like you've been playing for 4 hours. You should take a break.
I think I've watched someone play one once, but no, I just never got into it. Not that there's anything wrong with the games. I just don't think I had the time.
Yeah, that's fair. It's a lot. It's a lot for sure.
I mean, you're talking to someone who probably played more of the original Grand Theft Auto than any of the modern ones, just because it was such a easy pickup and kind of play short burst gameplay. I think probably the modern ones I probably played the most was probably 3 in college, but yeah, there's just those giant exploration type games are just whoo, the big
Yeah.
stuff. I think the longest big game I probably played last was Twilight Princess. That was, I mean, because it was a really long giant game, at least for a Zelda game, it was pretty long. And I did play both Arkham Asylum, which
Mm.
actually plays, I mean, well, not actually, it plays really great on Ouya via the Playcast, and then Arkham City, and Bioshock Infinite, both pretty big games. But any of the giant open world stuff, I just feel like I would, similar to Minecraft, if there's no ending to something, maybe that's why I play a lot of games with a finite ending.
Mhm.
If there's no finite ending, then I will probably keep playing for way too long.
It seems like a good move. Yeah.
It's hard to keep to. Oh, and there's a spider trying to kill me.
Oh no.
Oh no!
Um.
All right, you ready
What
to
else
see
did you
some?
play, Bob?
Far Cry 4. Mostly. Mostly
Mostly.
Far Cry 4. Um. Honestly, not even mostly. That's all I did. Well, so we went up to the mountains. We had Thanksgiving, and then we cut down trees because we live in like a national forest. So we like bought tree permits and went and cut down a Christmas tree. And most of my weekend was busy with family and like activities. And so then like a lot of yesterday, I played Far Cry 4. So. Oh, are you still playing WWE Supercard, Jared? Really quick.
I played still a little bit here and there. I finally was able to update it.
Yeah, I can't get I gotta like call Vince McMahon or something because I can't get mine to work. But that's for another office hours. Because
Yeah.
right now it's time.
Grok.
The Croc with Graupmann. Cool. All right, yeah. So last week, what did we do? I made a fix to the Construct 2 plugin for sound, so that if you load a big sound, it doesn't slow down the initial loading process. And then the rest of the time was all Unreal stuff. So I've forked the Unreal source code. I've added screenshots. I made it available for you guys, any of you people. You have to have a valid Unreal 4 license. And I'll show you all that stuff now. First, I need to share my screen. Sweet. And then Bob, you probably have to click on me so it locks it. But yeah, so check out the new Unreal docs. I made a video about how to take the Tappy Chicken project, set up controller input, and get that working on the Ouya. Definitely check that one out. Again, you need an Unreal subscription to use Unreal, so definitely get one of those. You need to link, so in your account settings, you need to link your GitHub account with your account, and then that will give you access to the Ouya branch, which is actually here. So once you have access to this, you can do awesome stuff. And I've kind of made screenshots of all the different process. There's also detailed wiki instructions in the Unreal docs about how you go through the whole process of forking the repro if you want to do like super changes, but in most cases you can just clone the Ouya repro of the Unreal source code. And yeah, so then now I have step-by-step screenshots of, okay, so you check it out, you need to get some dependencies, generate the project files, and then you just build the Unreal editor. And once you launch it, you're in Unreal. You can do a new project, which looks like this. And then there are new things in this version of the Unreal editor. If I look up close, you'll see there's actually in the object browser, you have access to the Ouya SDK and the Ouya controller. So the Ouya SDK gives you access to the access and buttons, and it'll have, I'm adding the code this week for doing in-app purchases and that kind of stuff. Use the Ouya controller object to access all the key codes and access values, or the accesses for interacting with the controllers. And I'll be writing more documentation about all this process. So kind of I took screenshots of basically a lot of stuff that's covered by the video at the top, but you can see that I'm walking through like a level blueprint. If I go to the very end here, I walk through the process of setting up one of these guys. Okay, so in Unreal it has level blueprints and class blueprints, and I cover that in the video about how you use those to interact with the Ouya SDK, and you can build out games in Unreal without writing any code. I figured out ways to like optimize the build times, so really you can get the Tappy Chicken project, Flappy Chicken, Tappy Chicken, yeah, Tappy Chicken. You can get the Tappy Chicken project, modify it, and then the publishing process takes about 2 minutes. And you can see it run on the Ouya. So definitely check that out. Okay, so I set up some tabs to cover some stuff. So that's kind of a verbose overview of Unreal new docs. Check out the Unreal new docs. Then I was looking at my commit history, and I made some changes to the Unreal source code so that it's compatible with Ouya now. And some of the changes are add the game category so it shows up in the play section. Some other changes are increase the minimum SDK version to 16 so that you can use the Ouya SDK. Same thing on the native code side. I added this awesome default icon for your game for the store icon and the small icon for settings.
Ouya!
And then here's some custom code in the game activity, which gives you Ouya Everywhere input in Unreal. So that'll, using the Ouya SDK nodes, that'll give you Ouya Everywhere access for Xbox controllers and Ouya controllers and PlayStation controllers and all those. And you won't have to add this kind of code in your game. There are changes. I made changes to the native code. I added some debugging stuff. I added a view to that whole thing. So last week was kind of a primer about how we did the detecting native input, passing it to Java, and passing the remap input back. All that code is now built into the Unreal editor in the fork. So that's all that. And then I've got code for exposing properties in the editor so that you can see all the Ouya buttons and the Ouya accesses. So, and then some classes for basically adding a Ouya controller actor and an SDK actor, which appears in that object browser. And then I'll be exposing more code in the Ouya SDK here for interacting with various methods. So let's look at some of this stuff and see. Maybe I'll just open the Unreal editor. So you first check out to an empty folder and it gets all the files, and then you get these required things from the releases. There's links to all this stuff in the docs. Then you unpack that, build it, and then eventually when you're all built, you'll have engine, binaries, and Win64, and this is the custom Ouya build of the Unreal Editor. So I'm going to open that, and that will launch the Unreal Editor and the Unreal Launcher. And that's loading. And then, so I found some key things, like if you add any code to your Unreal project, the build time I found goes way up. So the way I've set this up is if you just use blueprints only for your game, you can build and deploy to the Ouya within a couple minutes. So that's definitely pretty cool. Okay, so here's the demo 1 project that I've been screenshotting. Okay, skip. Yay, okay, it's open. Okay, so this is the basic interface for Unreal, and if I do a search for Ouya, there's the 2 actors that we're interested in. So I usually just take this Ouya controller, drop it in the scene, take the Ouya SDK, drop it in the scene, use the scene outliner and just rename them to Ouya controller and Ouya SDK. And at this point, now we can just go right into the level blueprint. So you just go to blueprints, open a level blueprint, and then now we can interact with the Ouya SDK and the Ouya controller. So when you have items selected and you're seeing the outliner, it makes the event sheet context specific. So with the Ouya SDK selected, I can just right click it and add a reference to that object. So there's a reference to the Ouya SDK. If I click the Ouya controller, I can add a reference to the Ouya controller. And now we can invoke methods on these things. So with the Ouya SDK selected, I just drag the flow to the right of it, and these are the different things that we can call. One thing, okay, so this is a reference. This is kind of your event graph, similar to like when we were looking at the construct 2 event sheets, where you can have, there's like a flow that comes in. So the first thing you need to happen is an event. So if I right click and add a update tick event, this update tick event will happen every frame. And then if I branch off of this user flow, I can call functions on the Ouya SDK. And here we go. I've added a new Ouya category to these functions. And then this is where you'll see all the different methods that I'm adding that for interacting with the Ouya SDK. So these are the access and button events. I might add another category for the in-app purchase calls. So there's going to be more things like initialize the plugin, requesting products, requesting purchases, and getting receipts. So that kind of thing will be functions on the Ouya SDK actor object. So here we can say, hey, did any controller push a button? And so if I check for the get any button down, it'll automatically create this node, and it actually generated an SDK reference. Here we go. So this is a thing that we'll check is any button down. The target is the Ouya SDK, and then you can type in a key code, but that's not necessarily convenient. So we can use this other Ouya controller object. And if I click on this part of it, if I do a search for Ouya, this is where you get any of the buttons or accesses that you want to interact with. So we could say, hey, when you press the O button, so this will give us the O button key code, and then we can just wire that up to the button here. And now we're able to detect, was a button pressed on the Ouya controller? And then an important thing to add in the update loop is when in the update loop, it's detecting for pressed and released events, and we want to clear the button states at the end of the update loop. So that's another function on the Ouya SDK. And we clear the button states. There we go. And now if I hit, okay, so when you make changes, then you want to compile your changes. There we go. And now when I hit play, I can see the user flow is working and it's going through my event states. It's doing the logic and it's hitting everything. If you've messed something up, you'll see like, hey, why isn't input coming to my event? And it's like, oh, because I didn't add an event. And yeah, so Bob, look at all this stuff. You don't have to write code. All this stuff was done without writing any code. And that's not to say you can't just go and add code. All these functions are callable from the C++ code, but you can totally make a game just using these blueprints.
Sweet. What do you think is easier for like a total noob, this or Construct 2?
I think this is pretty cool. I don't know. It's up to your preference for getting started. So for Construct 2, they have a free version. You're limited to 100 events. So basically, in your event sheet, you get up to 100 events for free, and then you have to go pro. Versus the Unreal thing, where minimum cost is $19 a month plus 5% of your gross revenue. So what that means is like, if you make your game and you put it in the Apple Store, you owe 5% of like the total amount that you made in the Apple Store, minus the 5% from that. So, before they take their cut. Or if you go in the Ouya store and you make it a paid app, it's the gross sales that you pay the 5% on. And then if you read their Ouya, like there's some exemptions, like you have to make at least, I think it was $3,000 before you need to pay the 5%. So good stuff to know. So definitely read through that. So this is like detecting in Ouya button press. There's also, I can check for access values. So here on the Ouya, I can get an access. Here we go. Make this a little bigger. This is actually dockable. Here we go. Keep it all nice and clean. Okay. So for get access, I've got these any. So for any is like any controller for checking a button versus an access where you want to actually specify the controller number. So we can say, okay, so the first controller, we want to get an access, and these nodes, you can copy and paste them. So Control C, Control V will give you a reference to it. And here we can say, hey, give me we want to hook it to like the left stick. There we go. And then you can just wire up the left stick to the access. And now compile that, and our flow looks good. And I'm not showing what to do with the return value, but okay, so for a button pressed, if the button press is detected, you can actually use something called a branch. And then connect your return value from if it's pressed, so true if it is pressed, false if it's not. And then this is where you can say, okay, if it's true, send the logic flow to one way versus setting it another way, but in this case, I'll just route false to the same place. There we go. We could do something with the return value here as well, although it's a float value, so let's see if we can do that. Okay, so branch. Okay, so you get a float. So there's probably like a way to say less than. There we go. Is float less than another float? There we go. So we can say, hey, if the value is like greater than 0.25, connect the return value to the branch condition. There we go. There we go. And now your branch is saying, okay, if the value coming in is less than 0.25, it'll hit the true case. Otherwise, the false case, you can wire to another event or another node. I think they call these nodes. There we go. and compile that. And then if everything's wired up, it should still go. You can see it. The flow is going where it needs to go. So yeah, I'll probably add a bunch of videos kind of like this for going over the various features. The next thing I want to do is wire these events up to a virtual controller example. And to do that, I'm thinking I'll probably start with the Flappy Bird, the Tappy Chicken. Yeah, I'll start with Tappy Chicken, like remove the guts out of it, and then put in the virtual controllers in that. Anyways, so that's Unreal. It runs super fast on the Ouya. I can actually show you what that looks like too. So if I look at, turn on the game capture, oh, it's already running. Great. Oh, you can see I was playing Boson X. Yeah. You still there, Bob?
Yeah, and mind hack. Mind hack.
Look at all
Yeah.
this stuff
Fun
that you
stuff.
have here that's not on the storefront.
Yeah, not yet. Okay, so here we have. Okay, I woke it up. There we go.
Tappy Chicken.
Tappy Chicken. Here we go.
3.
Yeah, it's version 3. Third time I tested it.
Will people be able to get this on the storefront?
I could put it on the storefront for free. Or everybody watching, if they watch the video, they can put it on the store themselves and change the logic.
No.
Come on. There we go. I might have to close my Elgato app and reopen it because it's not refreshing. It does that sometimes. Hang on one second. I'm going to close it and go back in. It gets tired if you leave it open for more than a day. There's an update coming soon. But anyways, yeah, I'm serious. Watch the Tappy Chicken video I did, and you can make your own Tappy Chicken clone. I made another video before that about how to change the behavior of the Tappy Chicken so you can make it easier to play. It says it's already running. There we go. Okay, and if I turn on live, yay! Okay, now it's capturing right. So yeah, the performance is excellent, and it's running Unreal, and you have these Tappy Chicken project inside of the Unreal launcher, and to get access to the source, when you launch the Unreal editor, it opens the Unreal launcher, and it has a marketplace, and you'll find towards the bottom in the section for complete showcases and complete projects. There's Tappy Chicken here, and you'll see it's a free download, and once you've downloaded that, you can create the project here, or you can create new projects here in your vault, and you just go and say create project, and you can specify where to place it. In my case, I want it in the VSDK examples, Unreal.
I just realized, Tim, that you were very honorable and did not snipe the 1,000th game slot with Tappy Chicken. You could have done that
I could have, yes. But I'd have to route more buttons and stuff, and I was still learning. So, yes, it was within my grasp. Okay, let's make this the old controller. I'm going to use this guy, the Tappy Chicken project setup, as the base for my virtual controller app. Virtual controller. Right, so use the launcher, and you'll create a Tappy Chicken clone. And this runs for maybe 15 seconds, and then that part's done. And now when I relaunch Okay, so you want, after you create the project, you want to close down the launcher, and you want to close down your other Unreal project. So I'm going to close this demo. No, I don't need to save it. Okay, so it's all the way exited. And then you want to launch the Unreal editor that you built from the custom fork. Okay, here we go. And you'll see when you created it, it's grayed out like this because the launcher is running the retail version, and we're running the Unreal editor in our custom version. So when you hit open, you'll get this dialog that says you're going to convert the project, and you can just say convert in place, and then it'll open up in the Ouya version of the Unreal editor, and that will allow you to interact with the Ouya SDK. So I'm done with that. Cool. All right, and here's Tappy Chicken. So it's a whole scene for Tappy Chicken. If I turn it to the front perspective or the side perspective, there we go, and turn it on lit. There we go. Now I can right click and move it around. Yeah, so there's a whole Tappy Chicken project here, and you'll find under blueprints, the whole thing that makes this Tappy Chicken level work is the blueprint main game. And this takes just a second to open because it's all the logic is in a single blueprint, a class blueprint. Here we go, and I can dock this. And to make a Flappy Bird game, you just need about this much logic. It's kind of cool. When you're doing the flows and stuff, you can do basically these colored boxes are the programmer concept of like comments. So you can comment blocks of logic diagram.
It looks like circuits.
It is. It's full of things. All right, so
It's full of stars.
the first thing we want to do is again bring over the Ouya controller to the scene in the Ouya SDK. Rename these guys to without the number because that's just default naming. And then with the Ouya SDK selected, actually, okay, so in class blueprints and level blueprints are a little bit different. And in the video, I kind of go through, okay, you can insert your custom input into the play button, general input, and there's a section for flap animates the upward movement of the chicken. So you add 3 custom events, and then you can get the controller working with this prototype game. And I go through like setting up, how do you do a custom event? Well, you just kind of right click and you can say custom event, and custom events are things that you can call from your level blueprint. Okay, and this thing is pretty big, so when you do things, it takes a couple seconds, but let's just say this is our when it lets me type. There we go. Okay, so this is our custom event for Ouya play. There we go. And so when this custom event fires, we can just wire it to go to where the other play was happening. Oh, you can't. Okay. Oh, because I was doing it from the red thing. You want the white line. There you go. So now you can fire a custom event from your level blueprint that will simulate this play button being clicked or tapped. So when you do changes to the class blueprint, you hit the compile button and that will auto-compile it for you. Okay, and now I can go to the blueprint part, open level blueprint, and the first thing we need is like a event tick for an update event. Oh, I always do this. It's like, what happened? I'm zoomed out and it's so small that I don't see it right away. Okay, so you have an event tick, and then if we want to call that custom event, we actually switch back to the scene, select the main class blueprint, and then back to the level blueprint, and then call methods on that class blueprint. And we had that custom event we did called Ouya play. And now every update tick, it'll actually simulate pressing that play button without using the controller. So at this point, we could wire up actually talking to the Ouya controller again. So if we go back to the main scene, select the Ouya SDK, switch back, we can say, hey, no, we want to only click the button when you use the Ouya controller and one of them hits the button down. And then it'll still do it every time. So we want to say, okay, if we branch, we can say, hey, connect the condition. We only want to fire, hang on, red to red, there we go. We only want to fire that custom event when a button was actually pressed. And now when I hit play, oh, it auto-compiles when you hit play. And there we go. Now we've wired up when the button is detected for button 0, so we need a button for that. So we use the Ouya controller, add a reference. You guys are still here, right? Very quiet.
Put myself on mute because my dog's going crazy.
I'm not here.
Excited for Unreal. Okay.
Well, she
So
kept
here,
hearing chicken and then kept getting excited.
oh, that's funny. Anyways, and then heck the O button up here. There we go. And that's a little bit cleaner setup than I did in the video. And we forgot the one thing. What's the one thing we need in the event tick?
Call function on Ouya controller.
Click the thing. So on the Ouya SDK in our event loop, to be able to detect new button presses, we want to clear the button states at the end. Ouya clear button states. There we go. So now, okay. So the flow only gets to here, and actually you won't see it go to this true case until a button is pressed. So then, in that case, it won't actually clear the button states. So on this false case, we actually want to, if the button wasn't pressed, we want it to skip over pushing the custom event and go on to the next. There we go. And now our flow looks good. There's that chicken noise again. Anyways, that's a little more efficient setup here
I like the animation.
than I did in the video. If I go back to the main blueprint here, it takes a second. There we go. All right, so I can add that second custom event. So you just right-click on the event sheet and then, or the event graph, and then you can say custom. That'll place a custom event that you can call. And it's so, this one's so massive that it takes a little bit of time before it appears. Okay. I have to wait 5 more seconds every time I click something.
Should we tease the ending for next week?
Yeah, this is kind of it. This is the touch Ouya custom event. Okay, I'm almost there, Bob. Hang on to your seats. Okay, we'll compile this. There we go. All right, so now this is a little bit different setup than I did in the last video, but with the blueprint selected here, we can call the next custom event. So there's the Ouya touch Ouya thing. There we go. This is last. There we go. So in the video I did, I set up this input detection thing on every custom event, and really we can detect the input in the level blueprint, and then when input's detected, just call the custom events in a row, like call the play custom event, then the touch custom event, and then the flap custom event in a series. So this would need the branch thing again. No, it wouldn't. It's all done. Let's see. So if the true goes to there, actually that's perfect. That's it. I hit play and I can see the flow working. So if the O button was detected, it would invoke this custom event and this custom event and then clear them out. Yeah. So anyways, that's a little bit about Unreal. Blueprinting and hooking up stuff and doing controller input without needing to write code. It's pretty awesome. When you're done, the last step is basically you go to File and Package Project, Android, and you build the DXT version for Tegra 3 devices, and that will build the APK that you need to put in the store or run on the Ouya, and it'll make a batch file for installing it and the APK, and it's about 50 megabytes. And that's a little overview about Unreal.
Huzzah!
Yay!
It's funny seeing this all on the grid like this.
Huzzah!
What I used to do on grid paper. It's like a rainy day like today, and we weren't allowed to play any more video games. My friends and I would sit around with grid paper and make our own little 2D level layouts a la Super Mario Brothers and compare and pass around in circles. That was probably the weakest form of any kind of game jam you could think of. But back in the mid 80s, that's about as good as it would get for a bunch of 10-year-olds.
I did a similar thing on paper. It was line 10, line 20, line 30, and you had to put the line number in front of the code and then list to see what you wrote and then run to run your program. Good old
Nice.
CW Basic. It was fun times.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
One of these days, Al learns it.
That's a lot of things there. Food game, I'm going to go first. My mom made a blackberry cobbler. It was so good. And beat that, Jared.
All right. You want me to sit over to the plate for Thanksgiving? We did our own turkey. We got a 13-pounder, stuffed it with pretty much everything from that song, right? Sage, rosemary, parsley, thyme, orange slices, apple slices, carrots, celery, rubbed it down in olive oil, covered it in some turkey stock, filled the pan with a lot of those similar ingredients. We didn't actually put the bread stuffing in because I didn't want to kill everyone, but we put all that stuff in for seasoning. And then Annalisa made cranberry sauce the night before or the day before, so all the cranberries, boil them down, added apple cider to it. You can also add bourbon if you want, but we didn't do that part. It was actually better without the bourbon this year. Boil that down, and we had stuffing from the rest of the family, which had turkey or chicken apple sausage mixed in with it. Mashed potatoes is asparagus casserole, which is really easy to do. You layer asparagus, cream mushroom soup, good old Campbell style, Tim. Cheddar cheese and breadcrumbs. You just layer that like 4 times over. Really good stuff. And my uncle made 4 different types of pies. He flew in from Louisiana and brought pecans from Louisiana, made pecan pie, pumpkin pie, which actually kind of, the tin crushed or folded upon itself, so it became a pumpkin pie calzone, if you will, or an empanada, just because of the way it fell apart. And made a mince berry pie and a huckleberry pie. So that was, yeah, that was super delicious. And our dogs went after some of the scraps as well. Yeah, and there was mashed potatoes and sweet potato stuff, but I was quite happy with how it all turned out. It was good times.
Wow. Have you ever brined a turkey?
I've not. I've always wanted to also like take a bunch of honey or like maple syrup and do like a maple coated turkey or things like that, but we just never felt that advanced. We really need to cook something not on Thanksgiving like that because all the pressure's on to like do it old fashioned. So there's no like
Don't drop it. Don't burn it.
We've also done nothing. We've also done nothing with the neck, which is so creepy. The first time I had no idea they stuffed the neck in there into the frozen or like the refrigerated turkey. It's like pulling out a chest burster, all alien out of it. And then there's a bag of which we've saved. I've never been brave enough to do anything with the neck or the giblets, but with the dogs, we'll probably we'll cook the giblets to some extent. Maybe we'll microwave them and then turn them into dog treats, which I assume are safe.
I think you're supposed to boil them and then it turns into the gravy.
Yeah, I think it can become part of the gravy. It's one of those things where we're just like, I feel like I'm going to do this all wrong. I mean, we were able to. The turkey made its own gravy in the oven to an extent, so we were okay. But I'd love to try to brine one at some point. How long does that take?
So I saw some directions. I haven't attempted it yet, but I think you soak your turkey in salt water for 24 hours before you cook it, and then it gets really soft.
Ooh.
After you cook it.
Nice.
Kind of like using a pressure cooker or whatever, how the meat's all tender. It like tenderizes it because it's soaked in the salt water.
I need to try that sometime. Now we just rubbed it down in olive oil before putting it in, and
my dad
did the turkey olive oil massage.
My dad did the brine method. It was pretty awesome.
Sweet.
Yeah. Oh.
Didn't you, Tim, you didn't do turkey, right? Did you ham, or am I wrong?
Yeah, no, I did a spiral ham with the honey glaze on it, and then
good stuff.
Chop up the yams, and I do like a layer of brown sugar, and then a layer of marshmallows, and then throw that in the oven. And it's pretty good stuff.
Oh my gosh, so the marshmallows like melt into the ham meat?
Yeah, no. So this is in a pie pan, right? So you chop up the yams into little 1/4-inch segments, and you boil that for about 20 minutes, so they're soft. You put it at the bottom of a pan. Then you put in the brown sugar, and then you sprinkle this little marshmallows over the top of it, and then they melt when they're in the oven into little white blobs of sugar cream on top of the brown sugar and the yams. So it's super sweet. It's like a little dessert.
Man, this is tough. I mean, and Bob, you said your mom made, was it a blackberry pie?
It's a cobbler.
Oh, like a crumbly
like
sort of.
Berries everywhere, yeah, and then just like.
Yeah, that was good. I love that stuff.
Yeah, I need to go for like a 5-mile run after all this is over.
Yeah, we definitely did a lot of dog walking. We gave them some turkey as well. They're addicted. Man, I don't know where I'm happy sharing this one with everyone. I don't think there's a way to. You can't beat family and food.
America wins on this holiday.
Yes, I think so. I'm happy. I'm happy to share this one. I don't want to don't want to winner pick. Although Bob, you are the winner picker, but
no, I think you're right. Everybody wins.
Yeah.
How good was your brine turkey again?
It was awesome. Amazing. Yeah. It was like falling apart, which was strange because it was behaving as if it were like pulled pork or something. So it was like, cool. And so at first it looked like, it's crumbling, so maybe it's dry, but it was an illusion, and it was actually like amazing. So I recommend that.
Try that next time.
Yeah. On that note, I'm gonna go eat lunch.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah. You guys take care of yourselves and each other in the immortal words of Jerry Springer.
And go play with someone real. It's all checked in, ready to play with. So go play with it.
Tap it, chicken. Nice.
All right,
Chicken,
guys.
good. Later, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.